Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, my dear brothers and my dear sisters. I hope you're well. Welcome back to Real Talks, the show in which we try and bring you issues pertaining to non-practicing brothers and sisters. We've got a whole playlist called Real Talks, so if you want, after this video you can go and check that out. And one of the best things about this show, like we always mention, is that we try and keep it 12 minutes to 14 minutes to 16 minutes long. We said 12 minutes before, but we haven't really.
We were actually doing really well, before that break, and the last few have just been.
We got a bit carried away, but alhamdulillah, it is what it is. Inshallah, we'll see how it goes. But anyways, today's video is going to be on the topic of he's just my friend. So obviously we're going to talk about sort of free mixing and those sort of aspects there. Now this is something that a lot of us, I say a lot, but a lot of people kind of engage in, because we go to uni, we go to college, we go to school, we go to work, it's sort of something that people think they can't stay away from, that they have to do. And we kind of want to bring a light and highlight the issues that can come out of this and how to sort of tackle not falling into this sort of stuff as well. So I'm going to pass it on to Imran, inshallah, to start us off. And yeah.
What's up again? I was reading, I didn't hear what you said.
It's on the topic of sort of, he's just my friend in free mixing.
Okay, yeah. Set the thing. Yeah, alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah amma ba'd. So we come across a lot, it's just my friend, she's just my friend, I don't see her like that. Someone will say, oh, she's like my sister. Some girls will be like, he's like my brother, it's so disgusting, he's like my brother, obviously I'm not gonna, So
and actually they genuinely mean that, innit? When they say that, majority of people.
I don't believe they mean it.
No, I've met some people, like
one party means it.
Yeah, one party means it.
But there's always someone.
Because genuinely, I've spoken to people and about this issue, like, when I see them doing it, I'm like on a private level, I'll give them this advice. And they'll be like, but bro, I don't see him in that way.
That's what I'm saying, look, there are rare cases when neither sees them in that way, but if you leave it for long enough, someone will.
The issue's deeper than that.
It's deeper than that. Now, let's look at it from a foundational perspective. Number one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created men and women with desires for each other. He created men and women with desires for each other. Like if you put two ends, opposite ends of a magnet, what happens?
They
attract. You understand? Men and women are magnets for each other. Look, Adam alayhi salam in Jannah was created alone. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created for him a female spouse because he couldn't be alone. You understand? Yeah. Men need women, women need men. You understand? Allah said, زُيِّنَ لِلنَّاسُ حُبُّ الشَّهَوَاتِ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ. Allah said, we place inside of the people, inside of the men, زُيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ, we place inside of them desires for women. And Allah mentioned a whole bunch of things, but at the top of the list He mentioned women, because that's the thing that the men they desire the most. You understand? So desires is something that's there. That desire is a magnetic force. You understand? If you place a woman who is, like the opposite end of a magnet, the magnetic force of desire is going to attract both of you to each other. You understand? Whether in one way or another, it's gonna happen. And how many times? Like listen. I'm at 27 now. Okay, alhamdulillah, I've been practicing for 7-8 years. I don't know why there's some mad dons online who've been like, oh, he's only been practicing for 2 years. But like, I've been practicing for about 7-8 years now, alhamdulillah. So Jahiliyyah, man, kind of been through it. And this was something that people used to always say, yeah, she's like my sister, da-da-da. Bro, one way or another, the same guy who's saying she's my sister, next week he's lip syncing her. Next week, oh yeah, we're going out. Like, how many times has that happened? How many times has that happened? Oh, we're just close friends. And you might just even just have a quick, you don't even realize, like, what happened. Because, you got emotional kind of you know, kind of.
It's like saying, yeah, boom. You get the. Let's go back to the magnet issue. You get the magnet. Like, oh yeah, one magnet. Plus, another magnet. Oh wait, two magnets. Oh yeah, we're similar friends. Yeah, we got compatibility.
You might even try to fight it.
The longer you go on, the longer it comes together, and then you say, oh.
It just happens exactly.
That's what happens.
Like you might even try to fight it. You might even say no.
But it was bound.
But there was a magnetic force.
Yeah, exactly.
Desire is attracting you. You understand? Hatta Allah said about Prophet Yusuf. You know when the woman came and she wanted to do haram with him, she wanted to basically sleep with Prophet Yusuf. Allah said, وَلَقَدْ هَمَّتْ بِهِ. She desired him. وَهَمَّ بِهَا. And he would have also desired her.
Yeah.
لَوْلَا أَرَأَ بُرْهَانَ رَبِّ. If it wasn't for the fact that Allah protected him and saved him, even the Prophet might have ended up. But of course Allah protected the Prophet.
Yeah.
And the Prophet wasn't going to do haram. But the point is that Allah saying the desire was even there.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So, even the Prophet ﷺ, you know, when he was outside one day and he happened to see a woman, right? Unintentionally, of course, but you know, like sometimes they might just come to. So what did he do? He went home and he went to his wife, Zainab radiallahu ta'ala anha, right? Zainab bint Jahsh radiallahu anha. He went to her and he basically had, you know, an intimate relationship with her as husband and wife do. And then he came out and he said, look, if any of you come out and you see a woman like, you know, you might see something that, you know, might be a fitna or like desire, it might spark your desire, go back to your wife. Because your wife has what she has, but your wife is halal.
Yeah.
You understand? So I'm saying prophets had desire.
Desires, yeah.
So you can't tell me you don't have desire. So you're placing yourself in a situation where you're going to be friends with an opposite gender. You might not actually end up doing like a thing where you have a relationship like that, yeah? But why place yourself in that kind of a situation? Because it's dangerous. Especially when Allah already told us, وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا. Allah said, Allah created the human weak. You understand that? Allah created you weak. Weak in what, akhi? The scholars, they explain. The ulama, they explain, they said weak when it comes to the affairs of the woman. We're weak when Ibn Abi Hatim, rahimahullah, he brought a narration from Tawus, who was a student of Ibn Abbas, who was the cousin of the Prophet ﷺ, who said, here when Allah said, Allah created us weak, he means He created us weak with regards to the women, because we can't be patient. You see a woman, do you understand? The guy who wants to do a thing. So Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah said that the inclination between men and women is general for the children of Adam, but on different levels, but it's always there. You understand? So this is something that's there, akhi. And wallahi, the scholars, they would say, man, Sa'id ibn Musayyib, look what he used to say, wallahi, when he used to say, I'm 80 years old.
Yeah.
And I still fear, the greatest thing I fear for myself is women. I might fall into haram with a woman. He's 80 years old. Is the 80-year-old man going to have desires anymore? No, he's thinking about death, but he's still saying I fear that. And you know what he said another time? He said, if shaitan cannot come at you through anything else, right? He's tried to make you quit prayers. He's tried to make you stop fasting. He's tried to make you do drugs. He's tried to make you listen to music. He's tried to make you do shirk, bid'ah. He's tried to make you do all these things. He can't make you do any of that. He said, then the shaitan will come at you with the final thing. The women. The big boy weapon. That's his nukes. Understand? That's his big thing that he pulls out. He says the woman for you. And what actually is just so true, because I remember when I started practicing, the brother who gave me dawah said the same thing to me. And he never heard the statement of Sa'id al-Musayyib, but he just had experience. And he was like, I'm telling you now, when you start practicing, it's going to happen to all of you. Shaitan's going to come at you through the women. And I'll tell you a story, true story. This brother, he told Ustad Abdul Rahman, he was a good brother, yeah, to show you how this is so true, that like women will come from any angle, yeah. Ustad Abdul Rahman, this guy, he basically called him and he said, listen Sheikh, you know, like, I turned down so many job offers, because, you know, they were involved in free mixing, or at the interview he'd have to shake a woman's hand, so he turned down all them jobs and he was struggling, like. And then he finally got a job as a pizza guy in a halal pizza shop. Is there a job that can be more halal than that?
No.
All you're doing is taking food, delivering it and bringing it back. And that job is halal. Understand? So he was like, I'm happy. Like, he didn't get paid mad money, but he's like, I get paid enough to pay my bills, take care of my wife, take care of my kids. So he was just like, I was so grateful. I left all of these haram jobs, haram money, because I have to do with women, to work in a pizza place. Cool. Because one day, I went to deliver pizza. and it was a woman who opened the door. She was naked. What was next thing you know? One thing led to another. He dropped the pizza. She couldn't afford to pay for the pizza. She tempted him. He slept with her. It gets worse. She recorded it. She recorded it. He's like, yo, she recorded it, everything, bang. And now his wife, his kids, everything's up in turmoil, his job, everything gone. You see, Shaitan, if you can't come at you through anything else, is it going to come at you through? Doing it. Well, actually, how many brothers do we know that's fed off deen because of girls? How many guys you know? Do you know?
Yeah, bare.
I know bare brothers who fell off deen because of girls. You understand? So the point I'm making here is, don't play with fire. You understand? And you know what's deep is that you know the one time where you're asking to fornicate is when you have a friend who's a female or a sister has a friend who's a male, and you have that emotional connection. Trust me, one day at the very least you're gonna end up lipsing each other. I've seen this happen too many times. Just my friend. Okay, you might actually be a friend, but the connection is so close. One day it's just because that emotional connection is there. She might even be unattracted to you. He might even be unattractive, but that emotional connection is there. That is strong. One day you're gonna do something. And let's just say if you have to do it from that one little group who don't do nothing, why are you gonna risk it? Why are you gonna risk it? And it's still haram anyway.
Yeah, exactly. No, of course, actually, you know what it is, yeah? Sometimes, because I go to university, I see this a lot. And from even experience, I remember, there was another story, subhanAllah, and one time I advised this one brother, and I told him, actually, look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّنَا. Don't go near to zina.
Don't go near to it.
Okay, and I was giving him advice, look, at this moment in time, you might think you're just friends and nothing's going to happen. But actually, I promise you, this is going to get bigger, and, it's going to lead one thing to the next, innit? The brother, he was just like, yeah, don't worry, yeah, I hear you. Kind of thing, innit? This year, I see the brother again. He comes to me. He says, Assalamu alaikum. And when you could just see someone, they got that look in their eye that, brother, I need to talk to you. So he came to me and he asked me, he's like, bro, have you got a bit of time? I was like, yeah, most definitely, what's up? He goes, remember last year when you told me, like, don't do the thing? I was like, bro, you was right. I was like, bro, what happened? Like, why are you coming to me with this now? He goes, bro, I slept with her. It gets worse. Now she's pregnant. And now he can't marry her because her family don't want him to marry her. And she can't abort the baby, obviously. So they're in that mushkila. And I remember when I was talking to the brother the first year, all he said to me was, bro, we're just doing work. That's all we're doing. And how many people do we see? That's the same situation they're in. All they're doing is work. And you may say, okay, but how do you know that's going to happen to me? Why would you put yourself in a situation where potentially that could happen? Because what we need to understand, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't prohibit something for us except that thing is good for us. Except for that thing protects us from more harm that's going to come. But what we tend to do is think we know better, subhanAllah. Do we know better than Allah? And you know what, subhanAllah, what also mentioned the other day about the person, I think it was Ibn Taymiyyah who said that the person who finds safety from falling into sin, this person is going down a line which is almost kufr.
It could lead to kufr.
It could lead to kufr.
The person finds safety in the fact that he will do all of these sins and Allah won't punish him.
Yeah.
Because that can lead to kufr.
Exactly. So it's one of those things where we need to understand, look, it's like, for example, say you have a drug dealer. He's out selling drugs because he wants to make money. But he can't come and now say, oh, but I'm not looking to get into beef, or I'm not looking to get arrested. Bro, you're in that situation, and that's what's going to result from it. So it's like, I think it's because the issue of free mixing has become something that so many people are engaged in. It's become watered down, and people don't really put the importance to it. And you know what, Brother Imran, he actually mentioned the story that Allah mentions about Yusuf alayhi salam in the Quran. The reason that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah mentions this in the Quran, protected Yusuf alayhi salam from falling into committing zina was because he was from one of the mukhlisin, he was from those who came with tawheed. And one thing we need to understand, brothers and sisters, is that a lot of us, we don't worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why we end up falling into these sort of things. But if we was to be worshipping Allah, we was to be obeying Allah, we wouldn't be ending up falling in these things and would be saved from it. Okay? And that's sort of the problem that a lot of us have, that we tend to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and all Allah wants is good for us. Is there anything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants except that Allah wants us to do good and Allah wants us to go to Jannah? Look how much avenues and pathways Allah has given us to be able to reach Jannah. But what do? We go and disobey Allah. And we think that we know better in this situation. Allah's told you to do something. Maybe you don't know the wisdom behind it. Maybe right now it's not clear to you. But just follow what Allah said, because no one knows better than what Allah knows. Do you understand? He's the all-knowing. He's the all-wise. So any situation that you're in, Allah prohibit that situation for you. Don't argue with it. What's the point of can you fight a battle you're not going to win?
Allah said, Allah said, to Allah belongs the creation. Allah created you, you're going to deny that? No, Allah said, I created you, to Him belongs your creation. We said, okay. It's not just the creation that belongs to Allah, the command and legislation belongs to Him as well. And that makes sense, because when you buy something from a shop, the manufacturer of that product will tell you how to use it. It will tell you, if you take this watch below 10 meters, it's not waterproof anymore. So if you take it below 10 meters, you're an idiot. Because you went against the instruction manual. Allah, the one who created it knows, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who created you. To Him is it not to Him the creation? Well then, to Him is it not the command and legislation as well?
Exactly.
He created you. He knows that men and women together in haram, you're not mahram, you're not married, or you don't have like a family relationship, not cousins, but like, she's not your brother, sister, kind of thing. Because that is a recipe for disaster. You're still going to go ahead and do it? Think you're better than Allah? Problematic, man.
And subhanAllah, one thing, and I just want to end on this inshallah, is that just look at your even friends. I'm pretty sure you have friends. Because this is not an issue which is not, people aren't aware of it.
Sorry.
It happens around everywhere. How many times do just me and you get emails? Oh brother, we was friends. Then we was in a relationship. Then we committed to that. Then he left me pregnant. Now he's left me. Now I'm heartbroken. This is how it leads on. And the same people that are doing this tend to be the same people that come to us later on and say, brother, I'm heartbroken. And like you said, the person who takes that watch down below 10 meters is an idiot. For the same example is the one who knows what Allah said, goes against it, and then complains afterwards.
That's what Ibn Qayyim said. He said they came to him and they said, Imam Ibn Qayyim, they said, prevention is better than cure. He said, no, prevention is the cure.
SubhanAllah. We'll probably end it on that, inshallah ta'ala. Is there anything else you want to add, inshallah?
Yeah, I just want to let the brothers and sisters know, all of this comes down to having knowledge when it comes to the deen. You probably watched this video, Iman probably increased a little bit, and you might be like, I want to learn more. You might be like, I want to take action, I want to delete the numbers of all the girls on my phone. Girls might say, I want to delete the numbers of all the guys on my phone, I want to unfollow all these people, not people of the opposite gender, I follow on Instagram, Twitter, whatever have you, Snapchat, whatever have you. If that happens, it's maybe because your Iman went up, right? So if that's the case, then know that it went up because you learned something, knowledge. So for that reason, you guys should start seeking knowledge. So we have a program online called the Knowledge College, which is basically designed for people who are, practicing and also non-practicing, who don't know much about the deen, who want to start studying, who want to go work, climb up the ladder of knowledge so they can go from a basic to, inshallah ta'ala, an advanced level. So we hope that you guys will go to the link below, check out this Knowledge College that we have online, and hopefully you might want to join. Akhi, you want to say something?
Yeah, just wanted to say, we mentioned a lot about desires, and some people, they might be thinking, well, I'm going to have desires, what do I do with those desires? And kind of, we gave the problem but not the solution. So just quickly, first and foremost, having desires is not wrong.
No.
Having desires is praiseworthy.
It's praiseworthy.
It's praiseworthy.
It's a sign of being a man.
Exactly, and obviously a woman, because women have desires as well.
Yeah, but like for a man, like I'm saying because we were in the context of men. Now when a man has like strong desires for women, that's a sign he's a man. Because like nowadays you got men having desires for men.
Yes,
and women. So when a guy says to me, right, you know, I got desires, the first thing I'm gonna say is it for women? And when it's women, I'm like, alhamdulillah. Do you understand? So I mean, the Prophet ﷺ had strong desires. Abdullah ibn Umar, radiallahu anhuma, the son of Umar ibn Khattab, the great companion, his desires were so high. Imam al-Bayhaqi narrated that, you know, in Ramadan, he was fasting, he would break his fast by actually being intimate with his wife. So he wouldn't eat no dates or no water. No, he'd say, that's how we're gonna open a fast. His iftar was his wife. You understand? So there's nothing wrong. It's just wrong when you do it outside of marriage.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a solution. Get married. And if you're not ready to get married, then ask yourself, why are you intermingling? What's the need? What benefit are you trying to do? What purpose do you have behind that intermingling? That's a question that you should probably ask yourself and ask that person who's trying to free-mix with you. But we'll leave it at that. Anything which you've said which was wrong or a mistake is from us and Shaitan, and Allah and His Messenger are free from it. Any benefit you could have taken is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. And until the next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.